Happy Mother's Day. It has become a personal tradition of mine. I started this, 5 or 6 years ago, to make sure that I begin the day on Mother's Day, including reading the Mother's Day proclamation of Julia Ward Howe. I've read it on this Sunday before here as well. Has some New England background and roots to it too, which is where I'm from. And I share it with you today. It's also part of the Singing the Living tradition. It's one of the readings in the back. I think it's important to hear. A Mother's Day proclamation, Julia Ward Howe. Arise then, women of this day. Arise, all women who have hearts. Whether your baptism be that of water or of fears. Say firmly, we will not have great questions decided by irrelevant agencies. Our husbands shall not come to us reeking with carnage for caresses and applause. Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience. We women of one country will be too tender of those of another country to allow our sons to be trained to injure others. From the bosom of the devastated earth, a voice goes up with our own. It says, disarm, disarm. From the bosom of the devastated earth, a voice goes up with our own. It says, disarm, disarm.
Please join me in the responsive invocation as written in your bulletin. Come in to the community of gentleness, of justice, and love. Let the healing power of this people penetrate you. Let hope interfuse you, and peace be the law of your hearts.
In this human circle, caring is a calling. All of us are called, so come into the circle of care.
Good morning. My name is Charlotte Diemel, and I'm a graduating senior at Fountain Club. In the fall, I will head off to a new chapter of my life, but I will not forget the lessons in which this church has taught me. I came into Fountain Street Church 13 and a half years ago as a young child in the pre-K classroom. Back then, every Sunday in the character school classrooms, we had a welcome in our own way. It went like this: we are the people of Fountain Street Church, people with open minds, loving hearts, and welcoming hands. This statement goes to everyone here in service today. This is Fountain Street Church. You belong here. The experience I've had in Fountain Club and Fountain Street Church as a whole are ones I will never forget and would never want to trade. With Fountain Club, I've done everything from volunteering to cross-country skiing to taking a 36-hour train ride to Arizona. With Tower Club as an 8th grader, we went on an immersion to the Hartside district that forever changed my view on homelessness. These experiences have shaped who I am as a person. These experiences have made me more confident and more comfortable in who I am. Many people are surprised when I say I go to church as someone who does not believe in a higher power. I can understand this confusion, but to me, however, religion is only a small part of church. The biggest part of church for me is the sense of community that it brings. Whether this is your first time here or if you have been here for 50 years, I hope you keep coming and keep being a part of this wonderful community I have found in this church. Thank you and welcome.
So this morning, children in character school, after they witness the dedications, will go back up to their classrooms for part 2 of a 2-part series on water, which has flowed really nicely from our celebrations around reverence for life and spring and Easter. All cries welcome at Fountain Street Church. All tears welcome. So last week, Donna St. John, a Kendall faculty, and Connie Winter Troutwine, the kayak committee, the art committee, all worked to put together the lessons for last week to coincide with the exhibit that's going on in the Keeler Lounge. Everyone is downstream. So I encourage you, if you haven't had a chance yet to view that exhibit, to certainly do that in a few weeks' time. They're showing a film on a Wednesday evening as well. But today, the children afterwards will return to their classrooms, and if you're in character school, you can start wondering about the questions I'm going to say. They will, as a class, wonder about what they're about to witness. 4 questions that we use often that comes from a Montessori-inspired approach to religious education. That is, I wonder what the favorite part of the dedication is going to be for you. I wonder what the most important part of the dedication is for you. I wonder if there's any part of this that we can leave out and still have all that we need. I wonder if any part of this dedication is about you or for you. Before I invite the families today forward, I have 2 readings for us. I have an ancient testimony and a contemporary testimony. From the ancient testimony is from the Christian scriptures, from the New Testament, from the Gospel of Mark. We see the symbolism of rituals of baptism, of water, of dedication, of naming ceremonies into every of the world's religious and spiritual traditions. And so for ancient testimony, John the Baptizer appeared in the wilderness proclaiming a baptism of repentance for the forgiveness of sins. And people from the whole Judean countryside and all the people of Jerusalem were going out to him and were baptized by him in the river Jordan, confessing their sins. Now John was clothed with camel's hair, a leather belt around his waist, and he ate locusts and wild honey. John was a wild child. He proclaimed, "The one who is more powerful than I is coming after me. I am not worthy to stoop down and untie the thong of his sandals. I have baptized you with water, but he will baptize you with the Holy Spirit." And in those days, Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee and was baptized by John in the river Jordan. And just as he was coming out up of the water, he saw the heavens torn apart and the Spirit descending like a dove on him. And a voice came from heaven. "You are my Son, the Beloved. With you I am well pleased." Words from one time and one place. And for contemporary testimony, words from the environmentalist John Seed and the activist and scholar of Buddhism Joanna Macy. What are you? What am I? Intersecting cycles of water, earth, air, and fire. That's what I am. That's what you are, what we are. Water, blood, lymph, mucus, sweat, tears. Inner oceans tugged by the moon, tides within, tides without. Streaming fluids floating our cells, washing and nourishing through endless riverways of gut and vein and capillary. Moisture pouring in and through and out of you, of me, of us, in the vast poem of the hydrological cycle. You are that. I am that. We are that. Words from one time and one place, perhaps two for this time and this place. And so it is time for our dedications. We have 3 families and 5 children that we're going to dedicate and bless today. So I invite the mayor, O'Rourke, and the Willison-Beaton families to come forward. It is such a joy to have these 3 families with us. One of the families were part of this community many years ago and are returning to be able to participate in this special service. Another one of the families are an active character school family and family that's part of the life of this church, and as is the 3rd family as well. And so I am just so glad you are all here today. So I've just got a little bit more to say, and then we'll bless with the water. So let us rejoice in children, in the new life they bring into this world with their eager minds and hearts. Dedication is an act of thanksgiving in community, an act of welcome and promise, not only for the one being named and blessed, but for you, their parents, their family, community, who we all make these promises together. And of course, water. Water is a sacred substance of life, essential to our survival and our thriving, essential for our towns, our cities, our farms, our planet. And our very bodies are composed primarily of water. And it's an evocative presence throughout the stories of many religious and spiritual traditions. She can make herself at home. Of many religious and spiritual traditions across the world. And this ritual unites us with many others who have been touched by water as well. Throughout so many stories, we learn of extraordinary moments of what at times is such an ordinary and essential element of life. So, I have a question for each of the sets of parents. So I'll begin with you. Do you welcome this child just as he is? Do you promise to love, honor, teach, and care for him as best you are able, encouraging him with the help of others to discover his unique way in faith? And do you promise to walk with him as he explores the questions that make for a meaningful life? Who am I? Why am I here? How am I to be truly helpful? If so, please say, I do. Okay. I'm going to ask you too. She's good. And do you welcome this child just as she is? Do you promise to love, honor, teach, and care for her as best you are able, encouraging her with the help of this church community to discover her unique way in faith? And do you promise to walk with her as she explores the questions that make for a meaningful life? Who am I? Why am I here? And how may I be truly helpful? If so, please say, I do.
I do.
Okay, great. I'm going to do all three together. Okay. Do you welcome these children and all the children that come in and out of your lives just as they are? Do you promise to love, honor, teach, care for them as best you are able, encouraging them with the help of this church community to discover their unique way of faith? And do you promise to walk with them as they explore the questions that make for a meaningful life? Who are you? Why am I here? And how am I to be truly helpful? If so, please say, I do. Okay. Are we ready for a blessing? Okay, Riley. Come on forward with your family. Do you want to play in the water? Yeah, go for it. Okay. How's it feel? Thank you so much. Okay. It's so special that you're here today. We're so glad you're here, Riley. Curtis, I've already given it away. Oh, goodness. Curtis, by what name shall this child be known?
Riley K.
Hey, Riley K. I bless you with water, a reminder that all life has risen up from the waters, a symbol of the Spirit that flows within and beyond and between all things. I bless you in faith, hope, and love. Ready? That your eyes may see brightly, that your ears hear clearly, that your mouth speak kindness always. Go for it. And that your spirit may shine forth as a light unto this world. May you be given strength for life's journey, courage in times of suffering, the joy of faith, and the freedom of love. Amen. Oliver's turn. Okay. And by what name will this child be called?
Oliver Thomas.
Okay. Oliver, do you want me to hold you? Why don't you give it a try? We'll give you back. Ready? Look at this. Look at the water. Yeah. I bless you with water, a reminder that all life has risen up from the waters, a symbol of the Spirit that flows. I bless you that your eyes may see brightly, that your ears, might hear clearly, your mouth seek kindness and speak kindness, and that your spirit might shine forth as a light unto this world. May you know that you are a child at play in the universe. May you be given strength for life's journey, courage in times of suffering, the joy of faith, and the freedom of love. Okay, thank you. Your turn. Who wants to go first?
Come here, Matthew. Lincoln, you want Lincoln to go first? Okay. Do you guys want to help me? Okay. Kevin and Krista, by what name shall this child be called?
Lincoln Marshall.
Lincoln Marshall, I bless you with water, a reminder that all life has risen up from the waters. I bless you in faith, hope, and love, that your eyes might see brightly, that your ears might hear clearly, that your mouth might speak kindness, and that your spirit might shine forth as a light unto this world. May you know that you are child always at play in the universe. May you be given strength for life's journey, courage in times of suffering, the joy of faith, and the freedom of love. Okay, great, thank you. Do you want to stand here? Okay. You ready? Okay. And by what name is this child called?
Brianna Alice.
Okay. Brianna Alice, I bless you with water. I bless you in faith, hope, and joy, that your eyes may see brightly, that your ears may hear clearly, that your mouth may speak kindness always, and that your spirit might shine forth as a light unto this world. May you be given strength for the journey, courage in hard times, the joy of faith, and the freedom of love always. Okay? Okay, great. And by what name is this child called?
Matthew Ishmael.
Matthew Ishmael, I bless you with water, a reminder that all life has risen up from the waters. I bless you in faith, hope, and love, that your ears might see brightly. Or what was that? What do your ears do? You'd think by the fifth one I'd have this down. That your eyes might see brightly, that your ears might hear clearly, that your mouth might speak kindness always, and that your spirit might shine forth unto a light into this world. Amen. Okay, and I have one more blessing. May you be given strength for the journey, courage in times of hard times, in times of suffering, the joy of faith, and the freedom of love. Amen. Beautiful. All right. So I ask all that are present today if your spirits and bodies are able to rise so we may hear your promises as well. Oops. Hi Riley. Do you welcome these children into the life and work of this community? Do you promise to love, honor, teach, and care for them and all children as best as you are able, supporting and encouraging them all this day and all the days of your life? If so, please say, "We do." Beautiful. And we are going to bless them on their way with song, and all the children as they go to character school. You're going to hear the melody first, and then I invite you to join in with the words printed in your bulletin. Great. And the seniors are going to present you with some roses and a certificate. So come out.
Hi, my name is Hannah Clark, and I'm a senior in Fountain Club. This is a reading by Ala Renee Bozarth. The small plot of ground on which you were born cannot be expected to stay forever the same. Earth changes and home becomes different places. You took flesh from clay, but the clay did not come from just one place. To feel alive, important, and safe, know your own waters and hills, but no more. You have stars in your bones and oceans in blood. You have opposing terrain in each eye. You belong to the land and sky of your first cry. You belong to infinity. Thank you.
Later today, I will go home and I will go to a shelf that's in a hutch in my dining room, a hutch that's like generations old. It came out of some barn of some great aunt. And I will open it up and I will take out a book where after a day like today, like a dedication, I will sit down and I will write the names of the children and family that were dedicated, and I'll add any little notes that might jog my memory about what might have, if there was anything special or unique that happened. I do the same thing after memorials and after weddings. All the records are kept in churches and on computers and whatnot, but it's been a real practice of mine to do after I heard an elder colleague say that he used to do that for all the years of his ministry. We have that practice here in this church as well, of signing our names in a membership book, of keeping record of the lives that have been part of this community. And so it is my senior colleague's tradition, Fred's, to read the names each week aloud of those who, in this part of the calendar year, this week, have died, have come to the end of their lifespan. And when anniversaries of those deaths are certainly marked during this current week. So I share those names now. Ann Logan, Mary Wilson, Elizabeth James, Nancy Mueller, Don Crandall, George Loomis, Russ Chandler, Jack Norman, and Steve Moorhead. So in Fountain Club, there is a particular symbol that has been very important to the club for many years, long before I was here, long before the seniors that will speak today were here. You'll see it on some of their logos. It's on their name tags if you go and introduce yourselves to them afterwards during social hour. And it's the symbol of the yin-yang, the Taoist symbol. Each time Fountain Club gathers for Vespers, they share the joys and concerns of their days. Each time our character school gather together, they share the roses and thorns of their days, of their week. And so that symbol of both and is so beautiful and so appropriate, right, for a day when we're really celebrating and honoring the whole arc of a lifespan, the entire arc of a lifespan. And water, besides being like literally a really important element, it's an important symbol as well, and part of the Taoist tradition also. And so before we just dwell in some silence and pause for a moment, I'm going to read to you from chapter 8 of the Tao Te Ching. The supreme good is like water. Water gives life to the 10,000 things and does not strive. It flows in places people sometimes reject. And so it is like the Tao, like the way. Supreme good is like water. In dwelling, be close to the land. In meditation, go deep in the heart. In dealing with others, be gentle and kind. In speech, be true. In ruling, be just. In daily life, be competent. In action, be aware of the time and the season. No fight, no blame. The supreme good is like water. So I invite us just to sit together in silence, to dwell close to our being, our breath. We are thirsty, friends, for silence in our days. Thirsty for it. And we're thirsty for community and for belonging. And so we will practice that here together for some moments of quiet. And a breath out. Amen.
Spirit. Hi, my name is Tommy Barfus, and I'm sure a lot of you know my father. So I've been in Fountain Street Church pretty much all my life. I was dedicated in the church as a child. I spent my time in character school, went through Tower Club, and I've spent the last 4 years with all of my friends in Fountain Club. My parents have been with me the entire way, and my dad's parents even met at this church. So without this church, I might not be the person I am today, even in a normal physical sense. So growing up in this church always felt like an adventure. Every time you'd come here, walking through the sanctuary and just hearing the organ, it was a really special place to grow up. And even that alone as a child was really important to me and shaped who I am. But as I got older and older, the values of the church become more and more important to me. And one of the biggest embodiments of that to me was Fountain Club. And first I have to say that every adult that has ever been involved in Fountain Club, Patty and Todd, Shelly and Tony, Alice, Mark, Elizabeth, Katie, they've all been so important to me as a person, just in my values and my beliefs, but just also as people to talk to and confide in. They've made such an impact on my life and such an impact on so many other people's lives. And Fountain Club wouldn't be the same without them, so they deserve more praise than anyone else. And Fountain Club offers a lot of interesting experiences. It's a weird duality of a safe area for kids to be honest with themselves and others, but then it also pushes you pretty much as hard as it can to try new things and have new experiences. And all of our trips we go on are really based around that idea of being honest with yourself, but also pushing yourself. So this summer when we went to New Orleans, it was full of new things, 24-hour rides on trains, 8-hour work days in the swampy New Orleans heat. But one of the new experiences for me came in the shape of an oyster. So for those of you who haven't spent a lot of time around Elizabeth has an infectious excitement about things, which is one of her best traits, because when you're dealing with a lot of grumpy high schoolers, having that unwavering positivity is really helpful. But we had some free time in the French Quarter, and we had all kind of walked around, looked at the stores, looked at all the historical sites, and we reconvened, excuse me, and Elizabeth was standing there talking about how she had just eaten some oysters. And the entire trip she was talking about how much she loved oysters. She just really wanted to get some. And the reaction from the Fountain Club kids was not quite as positive and accepting of oysters as Elizabeth might have hoped. So she was like, have you guys had oysters? And maybe half of us had, but I personally hadn't. And she was like, we're gonna get you all some oysters. And I was like, I don't think I'll like it, but I'll still try it. She even convinced the oyster place to stay open later for us to specifically get oysters. So, we get all situated at the table. She explains it to us, we get our oysters, and I'm thinking, I don't think I'm gonna like this. From the looks of it, I don't think this is gonna go well. But, this trip is about new experiences and pushing yourself. So, just with everyone else down the oyster, and probably not even a minute later, I threw it back up into my hand and then had to go throw it out. So even though I didn't quite agree with me, I still, it's all about challenging yourself and having new experiences. And that's what a lot of Fountain Club has been for me. Not that specifically, but So all these experiences you have get to be so important to you as a person, because you have these experiences with your friends and these people that you love, and then you go back to normal life, away from Fountain Street and away from Fountain Club, but they stay with you. And after that amazing, transformative trip to New Orleans this summer, something happened that I never really thought would quite happen. This year, I found myself not disconnected from Fountain Club, but I just didn't have the time to go anymore. Between finishing my classes for my senior year and dual enrollment to take college classes and all of my extracurricular activities and working, on 1 to 3 on most Sundays, I was either rolling burritos for my job or studying. And that was a really hard process to go through, because I would be sitting there working or doing homework and knowing that I was separated from these people that I was so close to. And that was something really hard for me to deal with, but in the end, I grew a lot from that. Because of all the years to not be with my people at Fountain Club, I think this was one of the hardest. Just with all the things that happened socially and politically, it was hard to not have that sense of connection that I had had in the previous years. But about halfway through the year, I realized that just because I'm not there doesn't mean we're not connected. And that's something that you tell yourself all the time, but you really only realize that when you feel it. And like I said, there were so many days that I was just sitting there feeling hopeless, kind of thinking, what am I going to do? What's going to happen? But there's that sense of hope and community deep down there somewhere that you have because of all the experiences that I've had. And knowing that Fountain Club still existed and that those people were still out there, even though I couldn't be with them, was one of the only things that really kept me going and got me through a lot of these times this year. And now that I'm, in my last few days of high school and all these activities and things are ending, it's like the past 4 years of my life are kind of slipping away in a sense. But that's just the cycle of high school, I guess. But I'm trying to remind myself that even though these things might be ending, the memories and experiences that I've had with them will still be there. And I'm trying to be mindful to keep those and still have them in my heart. So I guess for seniors or anyone else that'll find themselves away from this place or away from people that they feel close to in the future, it's so important to keep the people that you love and the things that you're passionate about and believe in close to your heart, because they'll always be there and you just need to have that in your head. So for my fellow seniors, everyone else in Fountain Club, anytime in the next 4 years that it might feel hard or you might feel like you don't know what to do, just think back to singing Brick House in New Orleans or sitting in the food cart on the train bothering everyone else, and just know that those experiences and the passion that we have will always be there. And without Fountain Club, like I said before, I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I just wanted to give all my thanks to these people in this organization for everything it's given me over the last 4 years. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Aubrey Hausig, and I am a senior in Fountain Club. So I'm going to talk to you about expectations. We all have them, so what exactly are they? It's this pristine picture painted in your mind, free of bumps and wrinkles. It's anticipating what an outcome is going to be. But the fact of the matter is, reality and the people in and around your world influence that outcome for better or worse. As children, we expect the world to revolve around us, and when things don't go our way, we are disappointed and cry. As young adults, we have high expectations for what our middle and high school experiences are going to be. We expect to have the time of our lives at any and all events we attend, but sometimes we feel alone in a crowd of familiar faces. We expect to be loved and accepted all the time, but as much as we wish this was the case, life happens and things change, so we in turn must also change. When something goes wrong and our picture tears or changes, sometimes the damage is too much to handle on our own. So we seek out a person or community to help us put the pieces back together, creating a new picture. Fountain Club has been the extra pair of hands that has helped me piece back together these past 4 years. On Mother's Day in 2000, I was christened right here at Fountain Street Church. My mom's rather conservative, actually quite conservative, family who attended the service had the lofty expectation that it would be a traditional Christian baptism, rather than, well, this. My loving and caring aunts and uncles expected that I would be raised as a good Christian girl that followed the rules without question and lived a conservative Midwestern life. Let me be the first to tell you, that isn't what happened, like at all. Here at church, I was taught about healthy relationships, given different perspectives on world religions, interacted with our neighbors in the Heartside community, taught how to correctly use a condom and other contraceptives during Owl Retreat at Camp Henry, and been part of the most influential and accepting high school alternative proms ever. When I was a middle schooler in Tower Club, I saw my brother in Fountain Club. It was a big group. His best friends were there. He was involved and excited to be there, and he was accepted and loved for exactly who he was. I couldn't wait to have that exact same experience. I had 1 year in Fountain Club with my brother and his friends before they graduated and moved on, and it was wonderful. It surpassed all of my expectations, but then they were gone. Club was tiny, not many of us in attendance, and for 2 years, I struggled with feeling like I didn't belong in the small group. It was really hard, but knowing that I was surrounded by caring and open-minded individuals, I trusted them with my feelings at the end of my junior year and finally shared with them what I had been feeling all this time. It was like stepping out of a fog and into the cornucopia that lay beyond. For once, expectation met reality, and it was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders and my heart. This is the power of Fountain Club. It's a small community with unfathomable power and love that heals and grows. Being a teenager is very difficult in the best of circumstances. I have been fortunate enough to be a part of this safe space where even the hardest of words can be said with the knowledge that they will be heard and not ignored. What a gift to give. What an amazing gift. My life at Fountain Street Church, along with my parents' open-mindedness, helped mold me into the strong and independent woman I am today. I have learned to respectfully question things, accept everyone, and stand for what I believe in. So thank you. From the 1-year-old who was christened here, the toddler who wiggled through junior choir performances on these steps, singing off key but with gusto, the middle schooler with mismatched Converse proudly carrying the dirt down these aisles for Earth Day, the young woman who on Christmas Eve helped herd the easily distracted angels with the attention spans of a gnat, to the woman who is ready to spread her wings and begin her next journey. Even though you may not have directly touched my life, your presence here in this community has touched me in ways that no one could or would expect. With all of these memories and experiences, I can now truly move forward and enter into adulthood with an open mind, loving heart, and welcoming hands, fully prepared and ready to embrace what life has to offer. Thank you.
So for our benediction, I'm going to invite our seniors to come forward. I am also going to invite the families of our seniors, some of our current Fountain Clubbers and Fountain Club leaders that are here to come on down, and our dedication families. So let's all come on down if you're in that group of people. And what's going to happen is our seniors who participated in service today are going to read the benediction that they close their Vespers with. So we're going to let them speak at the 4 of them together on their own. And then I'm going to invite you, the gathered body, to then repeat it back to them. Sounds good? Okay, it's in your bulletin. Okay, so just the...
Hold on to what is good, even if it is a handful of earth. Hold on to what you believe, even if it is a tree which stands by itself. Hold on to what you must do, even if it is a long way from here. Hold on to life, even if it is easier letting go. Hold on to the hand of your neighbor, even when we are apart.
And let's begin and echo back. Hold on